to. She's new. So? Katie was new too, and Priest barely let her out of his sight. Oh, Elise hadn't been far from him. Maybe not always visible, but aside from time spent at work with a tattoo iron in his hand, or running down leads on Draven and their missing seer primo when Priest demanded it, Tate had stayed close to her. It had meant a lot of time in Coyote form to maintain control and sleeping hidden outside her home, but he'd kept as tight of a connection as he dared. She's different. Jade opened her mouth as though she meant to argue, then frowned and snapped it shut. She'd been around Elise enough to sense it. The careful distance his mate kept between her and everyone. The watchful, sometimes skittish gaze so common to easy prey. The hesitancy, craftily hidden behind a determined mask when she interacted with new clan members she met. The woman Elise presented to the outside world wasn't the real deal. It was armor, a protective shield his gut said had been honed from something painful, and he'd be damned if his predatory actions did anything to fortify that armor. He wanted it off her, wanted the woman he'd glimpsed in the unguarded moments when she hadn't known he'd been watching, to help her live and experience what it meant to be Volan without fear, to feel the soft and sensual creature he sensed caged underneath. She might be different, Jade said, but pretending to be someone you're not is no way to build a relationship. The soft but pointed sentiment struck hard and deep, rattling a truth he'd worked hard to ignore.
I'm not pretending. I'm being careful.
You're a predator, a man who thrives on the hunt. I've never seen a male in our clan more primal with a woman than you, but you've barely allowed yourself in the same room with her. That's more than careful. That's avoidance. Don't tell me there's not more to this than being cautious with Elise. More? That was the understatement of the century. More like a gaping black hole of uncertainty he had no fucking clue how to cross. He thought he'd find his mate later in life, like Priest had, that he'd be more grounded in his place as a clan warrior, not 27 and primed with more animalistic drive than he knew what to do with half of the time. A double whammy considering Elise was an intoxicating mix of sensual fairy and untouched innocence. Winning her trust without losing control was going to be the miracle to trump all miracles.
Tonight.
The simple admission ripped up the back of his throat with all the comfort of a double-edged blade. Sharing meant a commitment, someone to hold him accountable if he altered his plans, and Jade would call him on his shit in a heartbeat.
I want to talk to her mother first. Let her know.
Out of nowhere, one of the many erotic images his mind had painted in the last few weeks derailed his thoughts. Elise on her belly, moonlight covering her bare skin, her knees cocked and her ass lifted for him, his hand pinning her to the ground at the back of her neck, while the other gripped her hip and held her steady for his cock. He shook his head to clear the image and swallowed back a low growl. A sly grin crept across Jade's face. Yeah, whatever explanation went with the look that just crossed your face probably isn't the one to use with her mom. No shit. But he couldn't keep her mother in the dark either. She might have had the benefit of knowing about their clan growing up, but she'd had zero direct exposure to it and hadn't accepted her gifts when given the chance.
She needs to know Elise is my mate, needs to understand what's going on.
You don't think Naomi's told her already? Surely she's at least laid the groundwork. Maybe. Katie's grandmother wasn't just an elder seer in their clan, but the queen mother of all meddlers. She'd been there the day fate had hit him with a thunderbolt, had done her part to cover the awkward silence while he wrestled to comprehend he'd just come face to face with his mate. No Volan man could miss that reality. The white aura around her had been as unmistakable as the awareness that had roared to life in her presence. The pull and insistent lash to take and claim what was his.
Just get Elise to Beltane.
Tate ground out.
I can't.
He cleared his throat and forced another huge breath.
I can't think straight when Elise is close, and I need to get this right with her mom.
Jade studied him a moment, the early evening sunlight slanting from between the treetops brightening her shrewd green eyes. The Keeper gave her to you for a reason, Tate. You won't get this wrong. no matter what.